At the end of the day, we only got a few weeks left, and we're going to see what Terrick Lunsford brings to the Arnold Classic stage, and we're going to see what Andrew Jacked brings to the Arnold Classic stage. Okay, going into this Arnold Classic, things might not go quite the way many are expecting. I've discussed this in a couple of different videos. First, Terrick Lunsford. We all saw this very recent video of him going through the poses. And he's about 4 weeks out, maybe 5 weeks the most out from the Arnold. And it's not just me. Many people looking at this think that he does not look like he's on track to be ready to bring the kind of package he needs to bring to this Arnold. Then I just made a video with the idea that, well, maybe he's trolling us. Who knows? Which is not quite his style. He's not known to troll like that. Now I'm finding out that he went to New York, paid Steve Weinberger a visit at Beth Francis' gym. For those of you who don't know, Beth Francis is Steve Weinberger's wife. Steve Weinberger, head judge for the IFBB. I don't think Terrick had any guest posing scheduled for New York or the New York area. A lot of bodybuilders, when they're approaching a show, do make a trip to see Steve, have Steve look at them, and give them his assessment. And Steve is not going to pull punches. He's going to tell you straight up what he thinks. I'm wondering now whether Terrick has some questions in his mind and some worries that things might not go right, and he wants to get an opinion from Steve Weinberger and see what he thinks. Now, I don't know if Chris Aceto, who's Terrick's prep coach, was there with him. Terrick came up from Florida. Chris, it's not a far trip for Chris to go down to see Steve Weinberger. Chris is up in Maine. I don't know if Chris was there also, but Terrick was sure enough there to see Steve. We didn't see any videos, and we couldn't hear any audio of Steve when he's looking at Terrick in his posing room. But we've seen some still shots of him in that posing room. And once again, he does not look like he should be looking at this stage before a show. Ultimately, what's going to happen on stage, we don't know until Terrick steps on stage at the Arnold Classic. But I'm starting to think that, Terrick has to be hearing what's being said on social media after that video of him was posted. He has to be hearing it. And I just can't help but wonder whether he's having some doubts and he wants to get Steve's input. The next thing, I took a lot of shit about it for saying it, and I stand by what I say. Andrew Jacked, and what appears to be not quite right with his arms. Now let me say this. Go back a little while, and I would look at him, and something just didn't seem a little off to me. It wasn't quite obvious, so I was never able to pinpoint it. Maybe it was this, but now there's something going on. You can hate on me for saying it, but I stand by it. When you look at the arms and when you watch them doing movements, how the muscles is flexing and a movement of the muscle, and just in a still shot, something doesn't look quite right. Now, where am I going with this? Terrick El Guindy, on a very recent Olympia TV podcast, brought up a topic. Now, never actually used the word, but we all know what he was referring to. And he says, we know, and when Terrick says we, he's a judge. He's an IFBB judge. And he's talking about him and the other judges. We know these guys are using it. And we're not gonna stand for it any longer. We see it. If we can see it, you're gonna start getting marked down for it. Now back to Andrew. The last 2 years, Andrew placed 5th in the Olympia. People expected him to move up even more this past year, and he didn't. But not only that, he's been passed up by somebody that I don't think many had passing Andrew up. Somebody that Andrew already beat twice, Martin Fitzwater. And I got to give Martin Fitzwater credit. He's made a lot of improvements over the last year. But I don't think anybody had him passing up Andrew after Andrew actually beat him twice already. Maybe the judges are seeing something with him. Maybe that's why he hasn't moved up. Maybe that's why he's already got him passed up by somebody that he beat twice. I don't know. I'm just throwing this out there. But once again, as I said in the previous video, I won't apologize for what I say. I do think there is something going on. At the end of the day, we only got a few weeks left, and we're going to see what Derek Lunsford brings to the Arnold Classic stage, and we're going to see what Andrew Jacked brings to the Arnold Classic stage. And at the end of the day, one of two things. I'll look like a genius or I'll look like a schmuck. We got a few weeks to go and we'll find out. If you agree or disagree with anything I've said, let me know in the comment section. This is Michael Diamond. I'd like to thank you for watching Muscle Central.